Stay on the CTV News at 5. All this heat is putting pressure on the provincial power grid. Albertans are asked to conserve energy. Plus, a Lethbridge mother's warning about a common baby toy. And
Oh, sweet Lorraine, the memories will always linger on.
a love song 75 years in the making.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The group that monitors electricity use in Alberta is urging residents to unplug, turn off, and conserve power. Alberta Electric System Operator says there is an electricity shortage due to high demand, the warm weather, and limited wind output. As well, the operator says a planned power outage in British Columbia, as well as an unplanned one in Saskatchewan, is preventing Alberta from importing power. We're being urged to turn off unnecessary lights, electrical appliances, and minimize the use of air conditioning. Now, coincidentally, about 30 homes in South Lethbridge were without power this afternoon, but that had nothing to do with a power shortage. The outage was caused by a fire on a power pole. It affected homes in a 2-block area east of the Keg restaurant in Lethbridge. City crews are working to restore electricity to the area. A Lethbridge couple are sending out a warning to parents after a toy their child was playing with nearly choked the child. Jeanette Roche has the story.
He's the light of his parents' lives. Grayson Irvin is a happy, healthy 8-month-old boy. But Monday, while he was playing in his jumper, something happened that could have changed this family forever.
He appeared to be in distress, and I picked him up, and I flipped him over my knee, and I did a few back blows and flipped him to the front, did a few chest compressions.
Amanda Irvin saw something in the back of Grayson's throat and pulled it out with her pinky finger.
He took a huge breath of air, and he vomited everywhere and just started screaming. And that's when I realized that he had choked on this tag that came off of his exerciser. That's supposed to be a safety device, I guess, to show how to use the toys.
That toy is a Disney Baby Einstein musical motion activity jumper, sometimes referred to as an exerciser. It was purchased about a year ago and bears the model number OK1. The tag isn't supposed to be removed, but Grayson was able to rip it off by himself.
She said Grayson choked. And immediately I was just, terrified. If Amanda wouldn't have been there when she was, who knows? We could be at a funeral right now.
The Irvins called the toy manufacturer, a company called Kids 2 out of Atlanta, Georgia. Turns out the jumper had been recalled in the past, not because of the tag, but because other children have been hit in the face by its plastic toy son. When the couple posted a picture of the jumper on Facebook, many of their friends responded that they have the exact same jumper.
And so, how many people all over the world have the same kind of toy and it's just sitting out there? It just seems like, nothing happens until it's a statistic, right? Until a kid dies.
When we visited the retailer where the Irvins purchased the jumper, we found the newer models still bear a similar tag. The Irvins are now prepared to take legal action in an effort to stop other kids from getting hurt. Jeanette Roche, CTV News, Lethbridge.
CTV tried to reach the company that makes the Baby Einstein jumper, but we didn't get a response. All right, Dore, some precipitation on the way, some unsettled weather. We even actually have a special weather statement that's been issued for the Clares home region, the Nanton region, right around High River.
Absolutely. We've got the jet stream collapsing from the north, so all of those areas, and it'll be a fluid situation, not a pun intended there, but really with these watches and warnings, we'll be seeing that move further south and further east probably in the ensuing hours. We've already got severe thunderstorm watches out for a lot of southeastern BC, so that's just naturally going to carry off into southern Alberta. So we'll keep an eye on this system, but things are changing hour by hour. We'll just have to keep watching the charts.
Okay, thank you, Dory. It was a story that made headlines around the globe. Now the man convicted of kidnapping and raping 3 Cleveland women holding them for over a decade, was found hanging in his prison cell last night. Ariel Castro hung himself with a bedsheet, according to autopsy results. Medical staff at the prison tried to revive the 53-year-old, but he was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Castro was in protective custody, but he wasn't on suicide watch. He was sentenced to life plus 1,000 years in prison. A long-term offender hearing is underway for a Lethbridge man who's pleaded guilty on child pornography charges. 26-year-old Patrick Brian Rickman admitted to possessing child pornography after a memory stick containing images was found in a computer lab at the University of Lethbridge back in August of 2009. The hearing that's being held in Calgary is to determine if Rickman should be labeled a long-term sex offender. The court could add up to 10 years of supervision after his eventual release from custody. He's also been charged with violating his bail conditions. The operator of a southern Alberta rescue ranch will be back in court later this month on charges under the Animal Protection Act. 81-year-old Roger Brinker was granted a 3-week adjournment because of ailing health. Brinker was charged in July. About 3 weeks after 4 of his cows were euthanized, the Alberta SPCA launched an investigation after receiving a complaint. Brinker is owner of Big Julie's Rescue Ranch. He's facing 4 counts of causing or allowing an animal to be in distress and 4 counts of failing to provide adequate care. But Brinker says he plans to plead not guilty. He was scheduled to appear in court August 28th, but Brinker requested an adjournment because he is being treated for a serious leg infection that prevented him from leaving his home. The province says more than 100,000 people were affected by the floods this June. And here are some of their latest tallies. Nearly $70 million has been doled out with preloaded debit cards and checks to almost 40,000 people. So far, more than 8,200 applications for support have been processed and more than 1,800 have been paid for with $8.6 million. In High River, more than 2,000 truckloads of debris have been removed from the town's residential areas. About 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of material have been removed from the town's river system. 985 kilometers of provincial roads and bridges were closed as a result of damage, and so far 857 kilometers have been reopened. Well, we now know who will be building Lethbridge's new skate park. City Council unanimously approved awarding the contract to a BC-based New Line Skates Parks company at a cost of almost $600,000. The skate park will be going on the green strip right next to Henderson Ice Arena on Mayor McGrath Drive. Construction is expected to start later this month, could last up to 16 weeks. The Joyful House of Prayer is putting the last touches on its new home. The organization is hosting a Torah walk tomorrow evening to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and their new Lethbridge location. The walk starts at the Signet Center parking lot and will continue down 13th Street until it reaches its new home. Organizers say they can't wait to celebrate the new year and to get into their new building.
We are so excited. This is the excitement has been building just as the whole building has come together to such a mind to work here, and we just have felt like God's smile is on us.
Now that we have this stake in the ground, we have something to call our own.
Oh, look at them wave. Now, along with the barbecue, there will be dancing, singing, and a brief history about the Jewish New Year. The walk itself starts at 5 o'clock and the barbecue at 6. It's a hit. 75 years in the making. A 96-year-old man has a hit song on the iTunes chart. Fred Straubaugh lost his wife earlier this year and then penned a poem about her. As Todd Battis reports, a contest in the Halifax newspaper helped turn it into sweet music.
1938, Fred Staubaugh's life was changed forever when he met a woman named Lorraine.
Beautifulest girl I ever saw, yeah. Just a beautiful woman.
They were together 75 years, married for 73 of them. In April, she died. She was 91. Fred was lost.
After she passed away, I was just sitting in the front room one evening by myself, and just come right to me almost.
He picked up a pencil, and words just started flowing. Soon he had a song on paper.
Oh, sweet Lorraine, the memories will always linger on.
Then Fred noticed in the newspaper a contest for the best song. The prize, a professional recording. Hundreds were submitted, all by video or email. with one exception.
We received a very large manila envelope. The letter he sent us, it was so heartwarming.
On the back, the 96-year-old wrote, "I don't sing. I would scare people." It didn't frighten producer Jacob Colgan at Green Shoe Studio in Peoria, Illinois.
I was in tears and instantly knew I just had to bring this guy's song to life.
When complete, Fred was invited to hear his song.
Oh, sweet Lorraine, I wish we could do all the good times over again. Oh, sweet Lorraine.
It touched its writer.
Wonderful. Good. Just wonderful.
And connected with listeners. Fred has a hit, well positioned on the iTunes charts among music's biggest names.
He's kind of funny. He's like, "Hey, who's this Justin Timberlake guy?" And I'm like, "Well, why yes." He goes, "Evidently I passed him right up on the iTunes sales."
A song, just a minute and 59 seconds, of a love story 75 years strong. Todd Battis, CTV News, Halifax.
How very sweet. Coming up next, Dory's going to tell us more about how sweet the forecast is going to be. First, though, a look at the day's markets.